Amen, baby. Nobody does it like America. Nobody ever has. Nobody ever will. Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Wednesday, June 17, year of our Lord 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. Broadcasting today from the United States of America. I could prove it, because we had people beating the snot out of each other on the White House lawn. It's also the place for the brave, like the veterans we will salute today, thanks to our man John Basiliga. We lost these men, but celebrate them today, like Joseph Gallagher, Freeland, William Adams, Harvey's Lake, Harry Tost, Scranton, by way of Dubois, and John Moneta, Berwick. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers, who knew that government should not be, could not be, and never will be, if they follow the Constitution, our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. None of these things, because of human nature, which abuses power, not sometimes, all the times. So government should only be a necessary evil designed to protect and organize society, and not much more. The United States of America, the country where for the first time in human history, freedom was declared by law to be an unalienable right granted each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter how it's abused by the left. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, it will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, with that essential preamble dealt with, we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. So, we start with the greatness of America as we head to our 250th birthday. All you have to do is listen to the foreigners who've come to this country for the World Cup. They can't even believe how great this country is. They're blown away. My God, we thought it would be this. We thought it'd be a mess. We thought, no. They're seeing vitality. They're seeing strength. They're seeing beauty. They're seeing a spirit that is the inspiration for the world. Donald Trump got us this event right on our 250th birthday, and it is going to be, in my view, if things proceed apace, it is going to be one of the most unifying experiences that people in the world are going to have, and they will unify behind us and our greatness. It's a big deal. And our greatness is a big deal. And it's so sad to have a political party, the Democrats, led by people who hate the country, who despise it, who can't stand it. They'd rather it fall down around their ankles and collapse than not be run by them and their idiocy. It's frightening. I was telling Nancy in the morning team, I said, praising Hillary Clinton for some stupid statement that she made at the Y, like, oh, rear view mirror. She said, well, he hurt his legacy. First of all, what was his legacy, Joe Biden? That he was stupid? That he was corrupt? That he drove the country into the ground? What? Please give me an accomplishment. I really want to know one. Just one. It's unbelievable. The damage he did to this country in 4 years, the damage his administration did, from the open borders to the transgender insanity. I mean, cultural rot at a level never seen. It was like when I was talking to Ray from Mountaintop the other day, maybe yesterday. I'm a Star Trek fan, original Star Trek. I always point that out. And the Democrat Party in the 2000s was moving left. It just was. Well, in the Biden administration, if you remember the Starship Enterprise, when they'd go into warp speed, it would be gone. That's exactly where the Democrat Party went. Why did they go there? Well, first of all, there's always these kind of idiotic lunatics. Second of all, there was astonishing compliance from Democrat Party regulars and left-leaning Americans, particularly women, to follow these idiots, these communists, the Bernie Sanders, and people that are intellectually completely discredited. And they're getting worse, by the way. You look at an idiot like Mamdani in New York. He's starting grocery stores at 10 times the cost to start a comparable grocery store in the private sector. $30 million versus about $3 million. And somehow they're going to work, even though they've failed everywhere they've been tried, from the Soviet Union right here to America. This is the kind of stupidity. And we're talking to them like they're normal? Really? Somebody texted in, this is so true. Where does this mental illness come from that black history is being erased under Donald Trump? It's just made up. Completely made up. Oh, here's a genius. What's funny is that Gene Roddenberry would be against everything you stand for. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. You're gonna tell me what Gene Roddenberry would think today. Really, are you? My gosh. What are you, Sybil the soothsayer? Oh my God. See, this is the mentality. This is the idiocy. And so I make a point with Star Trek. They think they made some great point. Oh, Gene Roddenberry wouldn't agree with you. Oh, Levon Helms wouldn't agree with you. Don't play his song. It's insane. Anyone with common sense agrees with truth, fact, and reality. It does not exist in the leadership of the Democrat Party and the Dummycrats who blindly vote for it. Fortunately, that's not all Democrats. Oh, somebody on that Hillary Clinton point, Bob LTS, Hillary Clinton in a recent interview blames Joe Biden for the mess of the state of the current Democrat Party. Bob Clinton actually agreed with your narratives after the Afghanistan failure withdrawal that Biden should step down after one term. Yeah, she said it now. Go back and look at her quotes. Go back and look at her quotes. Her quote is this. He's done such a great job. He's done such a great job that if he decides to run, he should run. That's what she said. She supported him after the debate. You see how phony these people are? I've played her quotes on the border and other issues. Bill Clinton's quotes. Chuck Schumer's quotes. These people are insane. Please don't think it's you. And please have a memory of who they are. Don't just follow blindly like so many Democrats are. Yeah, somebody said these lunatics can't show one example of black history being erased. Under Donald Trump, it doesn't exist. I know. And Gene Roddenberry would disagree with me. Yeah, you know what Gene Roddenberry would do decades after his passing. You know what he'd be thinking. Thank you. I wish I had your genius. I wish. My God. That's what they do. Frightening. All right, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our sponsors. A little music, a little history, all that. And then we'll be back. You could reach me. Phone or text 570-883-0098. Jay and the Americans. Murph tells us, and remember, these are the guys Joe Nardone had in recently. June 17th, 1964, Jay and the Americans recorded their Tex-Mex hit, Come a Little Bit Closer. What a great song. United Artists Records, New York City. So Murph says during the final minutes of a 3-hour session, this song was meant as a B-side, and it ended up being their biggest hit. As Mel Allen would say during the Yankees broadcast before I was born, how about that? 1885, Statue of Liberty arrives in New York. The gift from France will not be completed until 1886. Great stuff. You just deal with these people. Somebody texted in, and this is helpful. Gene Roddenberry was clearly anti-communist. I remember it. There's an episode where the Chinese, they were called the Combs, had taken over what was America. And the Americans were coming back because they weren't going to give up. And Captain Kirk reads, I don't know if it was the Constitution, it was the preamble to the Constitution, or the Declaration of Independence. And the listener says he was clearly anti-communist, whereas the Democrat Party has clearly embraced it. Nuts. That's what I'm saying. You can't make any sense with these people. They want to win points, but don't care if they're wrong. I don't get it. And here's another typical. Why don't you talk about your own party? It isn't my party, by the way. I just want to remind you of that. I'd leave the Republican Party in 2 minutes if they were as sick and demented as the leaders of the Democrat Party are. And you should be ashamed of yourself that you don't. I don't care if you become a Republican. What the hell do I care? I care that you think normal, like a normal human being. Things that don't work, things that go contrary to human nature, things that go contrary to fact, truth, and reality. There's no Iran mess that he created. It was a disaster built up over 47 years. He's the first guy that had the balls to take it on for real. Maybe not forever, but for as far as the eye can see. So you're stupid. You really are stupid to say that. It's idiotic. So, I mean, if you're that stupid that that's what you see in Iran, not halting the use of nuclear weapons by a apocalyptic, lunatic Islamist state, which intended to bring about the end of the world with those nuclear weapons. And I mean, seriously, if you don't know what Iran having a nuclear weapon and a full-throated ballistic missile delivery system, thousands and thousands and thousands of missiles, and the capacity to produce at least 100 more, being able to reach Europe, being able to bomb Israel. If you don't get that, seriously, there's something wrong with you. I don't even know. How do we sugarcoat this anymore? Well, because Donald Trump did it? It's bad or it's wrong? I don't even... you're not making any sense, but you'll stick to the stupidity. I don't get it. We have this parallel with Nazi Germany. This happened before. There's nothing new in history. Please tell me what was flubbed. Tell me how it was flubbed. It was one of the most amazing, dominating military exercises in the history of the planet. And nobody can deny that without lying. Apparently, you have no problem doing that. It's really amazing. But Gene Roddenberry would be against everything. You haven't watched Star Trek. My God. George has a Star Trek joke. I'm not doing it because it's coarse. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not going to skip it because it's coarse. I'm going to skip it because it's stupid. George, I love you, but man, no, please. I'll tell the jokes around here. Let's stick to that program. The same idiot listener. Come on, Bob. We just ended up with a worse deal. A worse deal than what? Them having a nuclear weapon? You didn't even. By the way, this person doesn't even know what the deal is. It hasn't even been released yet, but they know. The $3 billion payout the U.S. surrendered to them. Well, that's the lie that you and the Democrats are going to tell. I don't know what's wrong with you. I seriously don't, but something is. If you actually believe that, there's something wrong with you. Please clean it up. We'll take a break. We'll be back. We got the Veterans Tribute. We got the weather. And we got our man Matt Geddes from Camp Freedom. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga. a super patriot, a friend of the vets. Well, it's Wednesday already. I can't even believe it. Well, and you know what that means? We got to start thinking, where are we going tonight? Where are we going this weekend? And naturally, I've got a solution, one that I take advantage of every week. Basiliga Hospitality. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. All three of them, I can assure you from firsthand experience, they're beautiful. The service is great. The food is great. The drinks are great. The people are great. As good bar restaurants as you'll ever go. Fine dining, off the charts. A Terra 519, new menu, reduced prices, new chef. I thought it was great before, but John knows you never stand still. A Terra 519, I can't wait to get back there this weekend. The Stegmeyer Mansion, had a chance to get down there for brunch on Sunday. My parents' anniversary. I can't even describe how awesome it is. An old world take, an amazing restaurant. William Adams. We lost him at age 95, June 7th. He was from Harvey's Lake. Born at his family home in Luzerne. He attended Sacred Heart Elementary School in Luzerne, then St. Mary's High School, then Wilkes-Barre, King's College, Duquesne University as well. He proudly served this country in the United States Air Force during the Korean War. He was the proud father of 2 children and enjoyed spending time at their home at the lake. William was preceded in death by his wife, Anne, but is survived by his sister, daughter, son, and 2 grandsons. William Adams, Air Force veteran. Joseph Gallagher, Freeland. He was 87 when we lost him June 6th. Born in Hazleton, graduate of St. Gabriel's High School in that city. Following high school, Joe served 4 years in the United States Air Force Military Police. He was stationed in the U.S. as well as several foreign countries. After completing his military service, he was employed for a few years at the Ford Corp in New Jersey. But he returned home to Freeland, became employed at the Tobyhanna Army Depot as an electrical inspector, retiring after 40 years there. Joe was a member of Immaculate Conception Parish, Freeland, where he served as Eucharistic minister, taught CCD, and did so much more. He helped start a youth soccer league there in Freeland. The Freeland Sons of Aaron was another of his passions. He loved cooking. He loved traveling with his wife, U.S., Europe, even Africa. He loved everything Boston and Notre Dame. Preceding him in death, his wife, Thelma. Surviving, a son, a daughter, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. A great legacy for Joseph Gallagher. Our amazing veterans this hour, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga, and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by another great gang up at Montage Mountain. It is summer fun time. And the best place to have summer fun, well, it's up at the mountain, the beautiful water park. Great hangout place. Today, a blend of sun and clouds. Thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. There can be gusty winds wherever it's raining. High 80. Tonight, cloudy, showers around late, low 65. Tomorrow, variable clouds with a thunderstorm. Very warm. Breezy in the afternoon. Storms can bring flooding, downpours, localized damaging wind gusts, all of that. High 86, low 58 on Thursday. Friday, back to good. Intervals of clouds and sun with a passing shower in the afternoon. High 78, low 57. Saturday, breezy and pleasant with sunshine and a few clouds, 78 degrees, low 53. Sunday, sun giving way to clouds, 77 for the high, the low of 57. And that's your weather at Montage Mountain Resorts, where it's 67 degrees right now. Murph tells us this date, 1965, the Kinks. They arrived in New York City for their upcoming tour, which started at the Academy of Music the following day. Their big hit was All Day and All of the Night. The Marquee, Murph tells us, mistakenly listed them as the Kings. Nobody would know what the hell the Kinks were back in 1965, would they? Anyway, Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Somebody texted in correctly. Bob, the 14-point memorandum of understanding was leaked. We are far from a deal, just setting up talks. So it's like, again, they grasp any frigging straw because, you know what it is? Because they know they're wrong about everything. But they're maintaining these inane positions. So let me grasp at a straw to feel better about being wrong. Now, George trying to redeem himself from that. I have no problem that it was coarse, but it was juvenile. Your last joke, George. But this is okay. He says, "Okay, Bob. How about this?" I love persistence. I'm surprised that the Democrats haven't called Trump's war in Iran a blitzkrieg since they call him a Nazi so often. I know. Very good, George, and actually clever. So see, we reward common sense, even if it's in humor, and we criticize, and really, we've got to smash people that are just wannabe idiots. Why they do want to be idiots, because we hope that they will find their way. Well, Camp Freedom. Camp Freedom is this beautiful 2,000-plus acre preserve north of Carbondale. And it is meant to provide succor and a reorientation and a regrounding with hunting and natural experiences, nature experiences for first responders with PTSD, for gold-starred families, for veterans who have PTSD. And it's an amazing place. It's been transformative. And the guy who's led it from the beginning is our friend Matt Geddes. Matt, how are you, brother? Great to talk to you again.
I am good, and it's been far too long, man. I'm just glad to be talking to you.
Well, I was just thinking, I said, you should be on often enough that we give you a theme song. So
I would love that.
So you got to start coming on regularly, telling us what's
I'm gonna do
happening
it.
up there, and then you just tell the Bulldog what theme song you want, and we play it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Then eventually everybody will know. Oh, okay, Matt's on.
I love it. We're going to put that together. It'll be great.
All right. Fire away. What do you got happening up there?
Well, I mean, our biggest fundraiser of the year is this Saturday, and it is paramount to everything we do. Our 7th annual. I can't believe it's 7 years that we're going to be doing our banquet. I mean, amazing, Bob. The first banquet, 7 years ago, we profited $49,000 on a night in Carbondale when people told me it just couldn't get done. And we persisted, we built it, and we profited $49,000, and all of that money going to the great mission. And last year, in the 6th annual banquet, we brought in over $500,000 in Carbondale, Pennsylvania, for our true American heroes, and broke $300,000 of profit. Just an incredible event. And this year, obviously, 6 years running, we've always done better, and I hope we can do better again this year. So it's awesome. It's just going to be an incredible night. The great thing about what we do at Camp Freedom from a financial standpoint, because
how do people go to the event or contribute to the event? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, the event is sold out. It's always sold out by tables only.
Okay.
And it's always sold out. But the reality is this: our online auction, which is the biggest part of the evening, that's our biggest part of fundraising. It is on our Facebook page. You can click on it, go there, and you talk about a list of unobtainable items. I mean, we have a 1926 Ford Roadster that Danny and the crew from Counts Customs, Ryan painted it. It's going to be here. It gets here in about an hour, and it's going to be here, and that's going to be the last auction item in the live auction. That's just incredible. For the first time ever, we're doing a set of 3 Camp Freedom custom firearms. We have a Tommy gun, we have a Desert Eagle, and we have a 1911 Auto Ordnance Camp Freedom version.
Oh my!
And we're going to do them as a trio. It's going to be crazy. We have Coyote Peterson. I don't know if you know him, Bob, but Coyote Peterson, has this massive 2 million person following on Instagram. He's a great guy. He's a conservationist, and he loves America. He loves our veterans and first responders, and he's going to be here. He's going to be at the event.
Wow.
He's the guy that gets stung and bit by everything in the world, and just does that. But he's going to be here, and we're going to live auction for 10 people on Sunday morning. The next day, you can go up to Camp Freedom and have a Camp Freedom adventure with Coyote Peterson. Like, you just can't get this stuff.
That would be awesome.
I mean,
wow.
Yes. And so that's going to happen. But the key is, the highest percentage of administrative cost in 8 years at Camp Freedom that we've ever had is 5.7%. And that's really hard to do when you own, 2,300 plus acres, and you have to have a staff and equipment to run it and manage the ground. So when people invest in us, your money's going to the mission, and you can trust it's managed right. We just do things right with the finances.
Well, I hope you could call again Friday to remind people of this and the online auction. I know this.
I'll do it.
I know this. If you go to that event and you could weasel your way into somebody who has a table, it is the center of America that night. You couldn't get more
kidding.
American. It's awesome.
Well, I agree with you. And I'm always so thankful for you having me on. We've, by the way, in 8 years, just an update since it's been a while, we have hosted over 18,000 true American heroes, disabled vets, first responders, their family members, Gold Star and Gold Shield families on the grounds of Camp Freedom from 48 states in 8 years.
Amazing.
That's what you're supporting when you support Camp Freedom.
And I don't know if I told you this, but I tell everybody if the subject comes to my pea brain, they'll say, I walked in there when we did the remote up there last year and did the show from there. And one of the Marines there says to me, he yells out, he goes, "You look like every gunny sergeant I ever had." And I wasn't in the military. And I told him, I said, I wasn't in the military, but you just gave me the best compliment I've ever had. And I still say so. So I'm dying to get back up there myself.
Well, you tell me when. You always have an open door. We'd love to host you anytime you're available.
All right. And if you call us on Friday, all right,
I'm going to.
You give the Bulldog your theme song, and that's how we start again, all right?
All right. I'm going to work on it. I'm finally going to have a walkout song.
Love it. Love it. All right, brother. Thank
great,
you, man.
Bob.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for loving America, man.
All right, man. Matt Geddes, Camp Freedom. And it is America at its best. We'll take a break and be back. You know it, baby. Great good morning, everyone. It's 10:08 a.m. on my Cordaro Jewelers watch. This beautiful Wednesday, June 17, 2026, here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga hospitality group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. Like William Adams, Harvey's Lake, Joseph Gallagher, Freeland, Harry Toast, Scranton by way of Dubois, John Manetta, Berwick. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. We promise you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. Brother Mike sends me this in. By the way, he's speculating on my voice issue. He said I was doing an impression of Tony Domiano on Sunday, and he says I might have lost my voice from that at the table down at the Stegmeyer Mansion. It's possible. It is possible. Pastor Mitch checks in and goes, LTS, Bob, you sound much better today. I've been praying for you. Thank you for that. I'm believing for your total healing. Let God's love flow from every part of you. God bless Broski, says Pastor Mitch. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Steve from Dunmore says, Bob, do you think the wonderful people at Camp Freedom helping folks with PTSD can help those libs suffering from TDS? They've got to help themselves. We are not opening up Camp Freedom for their problem. Dear Lord. Somebody texts in, so every measles case in America is Robert F. Kennedy's fault, but not the historical low infant mortality rate. Weird how that works. Yes, in a political party that is full of hypocrisy and lies. It's all based on lies, the entire Democrat Party. It's disgusting. On a point similar to that, same listener says, regarding your current guest, he says, the Democrats in Oregon are trying to ban hunting and fishing in that state. If it passes, it will spread from there. Yeah, well, that's Paige Cognetti's home state, of course. Why wouldn't lunacy reign? Anyway, back to Brother Mike. He sees this thing on CNN. Now, tell me if that, and by the way, if you're a Democrat, you've really got to check yourself. I want you to listen to this. 2 questions asked of Americans by CNN. First, will you display an American flag July 4th? Their comparison is from July of 2001 to now. For Republicans, 68% in July of 2001 would display an American flag. Now, today, 64%, so within the margin of error. The Democrats in July of 2001, 65%, almost identical to the Republicans in July of 2001. By the way, this is pre-9/11, just to note that. Now, it is 27%. If that blows me away. It literally blows me away. Now, let's go to something even worse. Because not everybody can display a flag, not everybody has a chance. So the parties were roughly equal in July of 2001. And now the Democrats are down to 27%, while the Republicans are basically the same. It's displaying the flag on July 4th. Now, extremely or very proud to be an American. Republicans, January of 2001, 90%. Democrats, January of 2001, 85%. Statistical tie. 2026, GOP, Republicans, 90% extremely or very proud to be an American. Democrats, 29%. Please do not tell me that there is not rot and sickness and degeneracy and evil in the leadership of the Democrat Party. Please don't tell me that. There is proof from CNN. Unbelievable. I am so saddened by that. And if you're a Democrat, you should be devastated. I mean, I'm talking about a normal Democrat, not the lunatics. You should be devastated by that. And that's the brainwash, as Mark Mayer's saying it. Proof the brainwash is taking place. It's an indoctrination to hate the country. Less than 30% extremely or very proud to be American. Democrat Party. Democrats. Less than 27% would put a flag out 4th of July. Wow. Just swallow that. Think about it. We got John from Falls on Gene Roddenberry. And John, thank you so much for holding on. Appreciate it.
Sure. I called once before, and I said this about you. Your program is a classic. Where else can you hear about a Buffalino, Gene Roddenberry? Where else can you hear the things that you hear in the exposing of the Democrats? Where else can you hear it? Nowhere else. Your program's a classic.
Well, my pride comes from the listenership. It truly does. But thank you.
That's blessed. You know, I would like to see, instead of Pride Month, instead of Black History Month, how about Veterans Month?
Yeah.
And we'll make Black History Day, and we'll make False Pride Day. I think that it would be far more appropriate. And
I got to tell you, I don't have a problem with pride. I mean, I don't. It's whatever. It's fine. But to have it when you juxtaposition it logically, our veterans get basically a weekend, Memorial Day, for giving their lives for the country. They get Veterans Day. And that's it. Like, really? So it's insane. They get 3 days, 4 days, and versus a month for by the way, something you can't help. Same thing with being black. You can't help it. You're born that way.
I love what the vice president said on the View list. I love what he said. He said, everybody thinks that if you put up this false stuff about liking black people and everything, but the proof I'm putting is Trump went into a black city and cut down the crime there. Manifest. Yep. Washington, D.C., crime is down like 90%. At least that's what's reported. Who's more pro-black than President Trump? All the race hucksters, they're not pro-black at all. They're against the black people.
And who's running around opposing black Republicans? That's one of the clips we played today. Barack Obama. I mean, these people are phony, they're hypocrites, and they're liars, and there's very little redemptive value in any of them.
No, they're not. They're textbooks evil. And if this country goes under, the world is going to be in such a mess.
Chaos. Dark ages. A new dark age is coming if this country doesn't sustain what it is.
I pastor a church and Tree of Life in Plymouth. And one thing I said to people on Sunday, Don't ever blame Trump for the high price of gas. The high price of gas is because of the mullahs in Persia and Iran trying to bring back this apocalyptic ending to the world. That's why gas prices are high.
Mm-hmm.
And don't blame Trump for the inflation. 80% of all printed money that was printed in this country, in the history of this country, took place during the Biden administration. That is going to take a long time to fight that much printing of money, which creates the inflation that affects us all. I don't blindly follow Trump, but I like his policies, and I think that he has been the best president we've had in my lifetime. And I would also, if Gene Roddenberry was back here alive today, he would have an episode with the Tholian Web in which the Democrats would have 1 hour to come to common sense. And if they didn't come to common sense in 1 Earth hour, the Tholians would exterminate them.
And they would be deathly afraid of that alien with the deep voice.
Yes. You can't make up how stupid the people are. I mean, like you pointed out the one guy who was saying the Trump deal was a big failure. We haven't even seen it yet. So how can you say it's a big failure? And then from what I've heard from Vice President, what he said was it's going to be the Arab countries that are going to pay if they follow all the rules. Yep. The Arab countries are going to help restore it, not the United States. Just like the ballroom, all they want to do is just falsely accuse Donald Trump. And although he is a very flawed man and he's made mistakes in the past, I look at where he is today with mercy toward him and grace toward him. And where he is today, he's a man that has stood up for this country, and his policies have been the most pro-American policies that I've seen in my lifetime.
John, I've said two things about Donald Trump. I don't think he was religious at all before he started running for president, but the support of pastors and religious leaders has made him first appreciate religion and now get it. And the same thing about loving Americans. I think he was agnostic. He loved the country. He loved what he was able to achieve within its structure. I think after the love the American people have given him, obviously the Trump people, he now loves the American people. Like, I think he's really come along as a person.
Yeah, yes, he has. I mean, if we were to go back when we were younger, we wouldn't be so proud of what we were. You learn in life as you go. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if maybe you were perfect when you were in your 20s, but I was pretty insane when I was young. I was pretty insane, and then I met the Lord Jesus, and I came to my senses. Whoa. And I came to and you realize that this country, what makes this country so great, is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness have been given to us by the one true Almighty God. Amen. Who gave us His Son and the Lord Jesus Christ, and I love America. I unashamedly love the Lord Jesus Christ. I love God. I love the Word of God, the Bible, unashamedly, and I love America. And I love the fact that you are a classic and that you're telling the truth.
All right. Hey, John, thank you so much. You hold it down in Falls and Plymouth, would you please?
I will do that, sir. In mighty blessings.
All right. Thank you. He has.
All
right. We got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. They make it all happen. Well, after God, of course. They make it all happen. A little history, a little music, and you could reach me by text or call 570-883-0098. I'd like to be 20% less man than I am right now. I suspect some of you feel about the same. 1965, this date. Murph tells us the Beatles. They finished recording their hit yesterday at EMI Studios, London, England, and St. Teresa for June 17th. Holiness is not something extraordinary, not something for only a few. Holiness is for every one of us. It is a simple duty, the acceptance of God with a smile at all times, anywhere and everywhere. St. Teresa for June 17th. Absolutely beautiful. Is anyone else reeling like I am from that sickening descent of the Democrat Party? That I describe it over and over, and issues and the disgusting leadership they have. But then that brings it into bas relief. Like, wow. 29% of Democrats, only 29% of Democrats are very happy or extremely happy to be American. Nuts. I don't even, I'm telling you, that stunned me like no specific fact. So it tells you everything you need to know. Only about a quarter of the Democrats are normal. The rest of them are gone. Like, I got this piece in the mail. Paige Cognetti, the liar. That's what she is. That's what her Mamdani-run campaign is. And here it is. Grace from Cresco. She says, I rely on Medicaid to manage my rare genetic disease. Congressman Rob Bresnahan voted to cut Medicaid to give tax breaks to billionaires. It is a despicable, disgusting lie. And I want you to look at Medicaid spending this year versus last. I don't even think you have to take out the illegals and the work eligible who've been limited on Medicaid. They're spending more money. It's like a provable, immediately provable lie. But they have this woman with her picture making it up. Here's another one. I've been a nurse for 30 years. I'm worried our hospitals will close because Congressman Rob Bresnahan voted to cut Medicaid. Well, Jen from Dalton, you're a liar. You've put your name and your face to a bald-faced, disgusting lie. Be ashamed of yourself. Be terribly ashamed of yourself. Paige Cognetti, who you're supporting, was against the big mediocre bill, by the way, as was every Democrat, which had $50 billion for rural hospitals. That is every hospital, including Wilkes-Barre General, including Geisinger, including Moses Taylor, Commonwealth, all of them in this area. $50 billion that she opposed. You're talking about hospitals closing? You're insane, and you're a liar. And you put your face and your name and your profession into that lie. Disgusting. And then there's this old fart, Steve from Wilkes-Barre. And by the way, they have the appropriately glum faces. He says, I want to be here for my grandchildren, but Congressman Rob Bresnahan voted to cut Medicare, which I rely on. Well, number one, you're a liar. I don't respect you because of your age, because you're willing to put your stupid face to this lie, this disgraceful lie. Joe Biden cut Medicare. Joe Biden spent Medicare money on illegal aliens And you didn't say a word, you dope. Now you make it up and put your face and your name to it. These could be made up people because there's no last names. This is the Democrats. The entire campaign, everything is a lie or based on a lie. And here's it's going in the circular file. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. All right. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. Veterans Tribute. The weather. We got Tina Morocco. And then Mark from Edwardsville. We'll take a break and be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, brought to you by our man John Basiliga. He's a super patriot. He's a businessman. He's a visionary. And he loves our veterans. One of his great companies as we head towards the weekend, and maybe you should check one of these places out tonight, is the Basiliga Hospitality Group. Great and growing is how I'd describe it. 3 amazing bar restaurants spread throughout Lackawanna County. Worth the trip from anywhere you're listening to me. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the great Trips Park section of West Scranton. A reimagined neighborhood tradition. The Old Brook Inn, 307, Springbrook Township. I mean, I can't brag about any of them enough. People, fun, service, food, drinks, the whole package. Then you go fine dining, none better anywhere, and I mean anywhere. Atera 519 downtown. Great happy hour 4 to 6. $10 mixed drinks, $6 craft beer, $8 wine. They are gorgeous and they are affordable. That includes the Stegmeyer Mansion. I'm always at Atera, but Stegmeyer, what a rare treat to get down there last Sunday. The Basiliga Hospitality Group. Harry Tost. He was 90. We lost him June 8th. He was from Scranton. Born in Reynoldsville. He was a proud Army veteran. He worked tirelessly for decades to provide for his family, earning the affectionate nickname Uncle Harry at work. He married Beverly Gullish Tost in 1956. They enjoyed nearly 46 years of marriage until her passing in August of 2002. He was also preceded in death tragically by two young children, Jeffrey and Jody. Harry honored their memories every year by planting hundreds of flowers on their graves and placing wreaths for Christmas. Despite great loss in his life, Harry considered himself a very blessed man, and in turn, he was a blessing to everyone he loved. In Scranton, Harry was famously known as the scooter guy, flying an American flag on his scooter. Everyone from grocery clerks to college kids knew him as he rode all over town. He loved scooter trips to Boscov's to buy surprise gifts for his family. Harry was the ultimate jokester, king of the dad jokes. Loved asking waitresses for a left-handed knife. He loved pinochle. He loved rummy. He loved hot weather, but he happily froze in ice rinks for hours to watch his grandkids play hockey. He'd arrive at the school bus stop and everywhere else his grandchildren were, his scooter basket full of snacks. Harry was a member of St. John Newman Church, Scranton, the Disabled American Veterans, Knights of Columbus, the Reynoldsville Eagle, and the American Legion. He's survived by his son, 6 grandchildren. Sadly, his siblings are gone, but his memory remains. Harry Tost. Our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by our gang up at Montage Mountain. The water park is open. Today's a perfect day. Get up there, enjoy it. It's cool. It's relaxing. It's just a great place to hang out. Good food, the whole package. Today, a blend of sun, clouds with a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. Gusty winds can accompany any downpour, high 80. Tonight, cloudy. Showers around late, low 65. Tomorrow, Thursday, variable clouds with a thunderstorm. Very warm. It'll be breezy in the afternoon, and these storms can bring flooding, downpours, and localized damaging wind gusts. There'll be no flooding at Montage Mountain, though. High 86, low 58. Friday, intervals of clouds and sun with a passing shower in the afternoon. High 78, low 57. Saturday, breezy and pleasant with sunshine and a few clouds. High 78, low 53. Sunday, more of the same. Sun giving way to clouds, but it'll be 77 with a low of 57. That's a great weather report and great weather for Montage Mountain, where it's 72 degrees right now. Well, it just warms my heart to hear that song because it means Tina Morocco in the house. She's the premier Sotheby's International Global Sales Advisor, Naples, Florida. You can check her out at Sotheby's in Naples or go right to the source, Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, or anywhere on social media, Tina Morocco, your trusted guide for Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. Hi, Tina. How are you?
Hey, Bob. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. We got you on the road, but we got you. I'm happy to know that. I forgot we were off Juneteenth. That's my fault. I can't even believe it's a holiday, but whatever. We're off Juneteenth here. So I said, we got to get her in.
That's okay. I can talk on a Wednesday.
All right. Well, tell me, what's on your mind today?
Well, today I just got off the plane. I was in Allentown. We flew to the Allentown airport on direct flights with Allegiant from Punta Gorda, Florida. So it's pretty convenient. You know, it's about an hour from Punta Gorda's about an hour from Naples, and you know we have a house in Scranton, so it's Allentown's about an hour from Scranton. So that was direct flight tonight.
Yeah, but the problem is they don't have my name on a plaque at the Allentown airport. It is at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport.
Nothing like the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport.
So for me, that hour trip is not worth it.
Not worth it.
But the point's important. There's so many ways to get to Southwest Florida with direct flights now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Breeze has great ones, usually from Fort Myers. But, the Sarasota airport has a lot of flights, too. I was just looking at those, too, in Tampa. I mean, there's a lot of ways to hit us in Southwest Florida. So, come visit.
All right, so was flying on your mind or something else?
No. I thought we talked. So, yesterday we talked about wine. Today I thought we'd talk about wellness.
Okay.
Maybe swing in the other direction. So, in Southwest Florida, I think we've talked about this before. So many of our communities have fitness centers and, great amenities, but a lot of them now are building more like wellness centers, with spas and infrared saunas and, cryotherapy, all kinds of massage. Which is wonderful. I think they're getting a lot of use out of that. It's kind of swinging into like preventative, healthcare, that type of thing. But I also wanted to mention we're seeing that as far as the amenities, but we're also seeing that as far as new construction, people wanting that in their homes. So I'm seeing a lot of people that are starting to build like cold plunges in their house. They're doing the saunas. They're doing all kinds of things. And when we're staging home to sell, a lot of times if there's extra room, we stage it as either a yoga studio or a Pilates studio or a bar or something like that. And that seems to be attractive to people.
Neat.
If there's, if it's a big house. And, it used to be all about the home office, but now it's like I have, a lot of people are like, I have my yoga instructor that comes in, or I have my Pilates instructor that comes in once or twice a week. Where can I put them? That type of thing.
Yeah.
So, interesting trend.
I like it. And you know what? The thing about places with consistently warm weather, you do think about health. I know
definitely.
Up here in the winter, we're just thinking about surviving.
Yeah. Well, it's rare. In Southwest Florida, we are really, we have a huge retirement community, obviously a huge snowbird community, but it's an active community.
Yeah.
So many people are into wellness. So many people get out and about with, the trails that we have around, the tennis, pickleball, bocce. It's just, paddle boarding. There's just so much to do, and, year round. And it's just a lot of fun. And, I guess we like to keep it moving here.
So this is our health nut for today, Tina Morocco, global sales advisor for real estate, but apparently a global sales advisor for health. I like it.
Oh, well, talk about it. It's related to real estate.
And you got to stay healthy to enjoy the property you're buying off you.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the whole point of it.
Well, Tina, hope to see you while you're back here, and
Definitely.
thanks for checking in. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Take care,
All
Bob.
right.
Thanks.
Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor, Sotheby's Realty, Naples, Florida, your trusted guide for Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. Reach her at Sotheby's Realty in Naples or Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. The Hollies. Murph tells us this date. 1966, they released their hit Bus Stop. By the way, Maine governor, Democrat governor, Janet Mills. This came across in my David Harris feed. She let a 6'1", 310-pound biological male double murderer into a woman's prison. He's now accused of sexually harassing and assaulting female inmates, groping, forcibly kissing, and cornering terrified women in their cells. One of the victims described it as a straight nightmare from hell and has filed a lawsuit. This is the sick Democrats. This is the sickness that has overcome their political party that gives you 29%, only 29% proud of their country. This is sick. Mark from Edwardsville. Mark, thank you for your patience and persistence, my man.
Yeah, Bob, LTS. You took the words out of my mouth with that Steve on that TV ad from Wilkes-Barre. He says, it burns me up. He burns me up, especially, I could see he's probably old enough to get Medicare because he looks like he's 90 years old. But as far as Medicaid, if he was getting Medicaid, he should be arrested for fraud. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, where the hell do they think we're stupid here or what?
They do. They know their own voters want to be fooled. And they want to be fired up about lies. So they just keep feeding the same lies, and these idiots follow. It's insane.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's sickening already. It's like I said, it burns him up. Well, those ads burn me up.
Why wouldn't you be angry? This is me, okay? I don't care. Let's just say I'm up for the Democrat. Okay. Well, if the Democrats' campaign keeps telling me things that are obviously lies, I would be offended as you know what? I'm not playing their game.
Yeah.
That's what a normal person would do.
Yeah, you're right. You're correct.
All
right, Bob.
Well, thank you for calling on that. Yeah, we're in a lather here today, but thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. All right, let's go to Joe from Berwick. We got a couple minutes, Joe. Fire away.
Hey, Bob. Thanks for having me on. So, listen, I was thoroughly impressed, of course, by Mr. Vance, okay?
Oh, he's great.
But there's something he was too nice, okay? Here's what should have been done. When they kept pressing him on this idea of immigration policy, and that one fool kept saying, but I'm a Christian. All right, you heard that one?
Yeah.
So
I was telling people here, I said, he's going on The View. This was at the end of the show yesterday. I go, and I didn't do it. It wasn't on air. It was off air. I said, he's going on with the dumbest people on the planet. They're absolute buffoons. He's going to slice and dice them, and he did.
Yeah, well, he did. But here's where I would have liked to seen this go. I would have liked to seen somebody point out to them and say, let's get something straight here, Mrs. Liberal, because you talk about separation of church and state all the time. Government policy is supposed to be made on the protection of Americans, and that includes our laws and our immigration laws. Irregardless of anybody's religious convictions or no religious convictions at all, these are laws, and that's how you explain it to your kid if you don't know how to do that. And if you're incapable of it, I will explain to your kid that we have laws, and laws are irregardless of anybody's religious conviction. They have a different purpose. That's the first thing. And the second thing I would have told her is, well, since your religious convictions seem to make you think that Jesus would allow everybody into this country unfettered with access to everybody and everything, let me take the next guy who comes across the border, unfettered, totally, unvetted or with no, in other words, you never met this person before in your life. You don't know them from Adam. Mm-hmm. But because you're a Christian and your religious beliefs tells you this person should be taken in, we're going to drop them off at your house, and you're going to feed them and clothe them and deal with whatever consequences their presence in your home, necessitates, because after all, isn't this what you're saying government policy should be based on your religious conviction? That's what should have been said to her.
And we've played dozens of clips of these hypocrites who are ready to sign a petition to let illegals stay in the country or come in the country. And then they say, well, all right, they're coming over to your house. Oh, no, I can't do that. Yeah, like, phony, disgustingly phony.
Well, about those women in these prisons, Bob, listen, there was a law signed into effect, a federal law called the Prison Rape Elimination Act.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it actually dictates what has to be done if women feel sexually threatened at all. And they're completely ignoring this law. I really want to see somebody get these women together and have them press massive lawsuits against these states who are doing this, because that's the only way this is going to stop.
And you, having worked in a prison, you understand the insanity of having this 300-pound murderer in a woman's prison. It's insanity.
Bob, if a prison guard says something that's even taken in the wrong way with any kind of sexual connotation, a prison guard can be investigated for something he says to a female inmate under this Prison Rape Elimination Act. But yet, under that same act, they're going to let these, like you said, men into women prisons. It's insanity. I mean, and that's why I said it's something they really need to get a lawsuit over, because it's just gotten out of control.
Well, you know it, man. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure, Joe. Hey, 11:02. That's when my Cordaro Jewelers watch. It tells me we got to go. We got to go to the news. Let's do that. But we'll come back. We'll talk about anything you want to. 570-883-0098. Bacardo's time, 11:02 and change. Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Wednesday, June 17, year of our Lord 2026. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 11:11 a.m. this beautiful day in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today exclusively thanks to John. Like Harry Toft, Scranton, William Adams, Harvey's Lake, Joseph Gallagher, Freeland, and John Mineta, Berwick. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle, gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense, it is deep and unalterable. And if you stick with us here, we will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all who hearken. Hey, the live stream. You go to, my man Anthony says hello. He's watching on the live stream. And all of that brought to you by our friends at Roach Supply. And we love them because not only are they good people, but they're the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. Headquartered in Honesdale with Chapman Supply in South Abington Township, they're celebrating 75 years in business. 95-year-old Ron Roach, he's a veteran, and he's still in charge. 3 generations working side by side at Roach Supply. ROCHE, roachsupply.com today. Thank you for bringing our deal and our YouTube process to the people of Northeast Pennsylvania and the world, frankly. Somebody pointing out about one of the liars on the Paige Cognetti postcard. Steve from Wilkes-Barre probably can't even point to the city on a map. You're right. I mean, it's all fake. It is all disgracefully fake. Somebody points out helpfully, and it's not, it's not the same, but this is fine, and I'm happy to hear that. The U.S. recognized November as National Veterans and Military Families Month. Additionally, May is designated as National Military Appreciation Month. That's a good thing. But you get our point, I hope. By the way, somebody says, Bob, LTS, it's official. Finally, the Clintons and the other old school Democrats, they're not old school. They're running to the far left to be relevant. But they agree with all my past narratives. Biden going Star Trek left, destroying the Democrat Party and putting the country back 4 decades. They're not disagreeing with his left-wing lunacy. They're saying they're going to do it better. Not that it doesn't work. Please remember who these people are. Power at any price to you. Not them. Power for them at any price to you. The listener continues. Biden now stands as the worst president in history. Tear down the stolen valor Biden banner. Greenridge Neighborhood Association, you've been exposed for your stupidity. Amen. We'll be doing that in this half hour. It's a disgrace. By the way, I'll go through my Instagram feed, and Marky Denenbaum, he points out they had to redirect some traffic because of Big Boy being in town. A third truck hit a bridge at the corner of Main Avenue and the Central Expressway. Okay? According to officers on the scene, This is also the third driver that did not speak a lick of English. They're hitting bridges. They can't read the signs. This is Josh Shapiro giving them CDL licenses. By the way, which are, if it's all fair, if they're forced to speak English, they're not easy to get. Believe me, they're not. And Marky asked, can you get your CDL if you can't read the signs or speak the language that they're in? How's that possible? Putting all of us at risk. And they don't care. They don't care. This is the 29% Democrat Party. It's disgusting. It's a disgrace. And whenever I think about something like that, just my man Nicky DeSanto helps out so much with the program and sends me a prayer every day. He just wanted to point out his uncle passing. And there's a guy I knew my whole life. Big, gruff guy, strong guy. Fran DeSanto. Heavy equipment operator for 45 years with the Engineers Local 542. Leaving behind grandchildren and great-grandchildren. But just one of those guys that was always there, and he always exuded, I couldn't pretend I knew him well. Always said hello, always respectfully, since I'm a kid, saying hello, Mr. DeSanto, and whatever. But he'd be on the Harley. Just a cool guy, cool-looking guy, tough-looking guy. Somebody to be admired. Somebody to be admired. And it's a loss, and Nicky wanted to point that out, and happy to do so. Happy to do so for him. And the funeral's in the morning, so I'm not going to get to stop by or anything like that. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, the Democrat Party has so completely lost its way and is trying to drag all party registrants with them into a world of insanity, of America hatred. It doesn't matter if it's the open border, the transgender insanity, the criminals, letting the criminals loose, not picking up the aliens off the street, this no kings lie, the Medicare and Medicaid lies. If you're a Democrat, you've got to be offended. You have to be. I don't know how you couldn't be. And I always say it. You don't have to change your party. Just change your damn party for the sake of the country. We'll take a break. Let's listen to our great sponsors. We'll come back with a little history, little music, and then more on the Bob Cordaro Show. Does anybody remember? I was finishing golfing, and we're sitting there and we're smoking cigars and having a few cocktails, and this whole farce starts playing out with the slow speed chase. We're like, what is this? What in God's name is going on here? I think it was like 7, 8, even 9 o'clock at night. Was it also NBA Finals at the same time? I don't know. Crazy. But this date, 1994, Simpson arrested, but the slow speed chase on the freeways. I got to meet Al Cowlings when Mike Munchak got into the NFL Football Hall of Fame, took the gang out, the kids and everything, and Al Cowlings is there. And I couldn't resist. I didn't say, we in the car. OJ's okay, but he's got a gun to his head. I didn't imitate him, but he was, I don't know, seemed pretty amused by the whole thing. Completely unbothered. When people were approaching him, I was probably one of the only ones, actually. Oh, crazy things. By the way, Mark the Shark from Hazleton, something I had forgotten about. They have Pride Night hats for baseball teams, okay? And a couple of the players wrote about a passage from the Bible. Hand wrote it on the, and they got warned by the league. Now, could you imagine this? No, the league said, well, we're only warning them. Thank you for reminding me. We're only warning them. Now, this is the same Major League Baseball that bent to the lie about Jim Crow 2.0 during the Biden administration and moved the All-Star game from Atlanta, hurting dozens of minority businesses for a lie that the new voting bill in Georgia was going to disenfranchise blacks. The Democrat lie. The disgusting, despicable lie, which has proven to be such because voter participation, particularly of minorities, has increased since the law passed. But they'll just keep lying. It's insane. It's insane where the Democrat Party has descended to. I'm like, wow. And they're unrepentant when they're caught in their lies. I don't get it. Mountaintop says, Bob, thank you for calling these liars out. That's the idiots on the, they're fake or not, on the Paige Cognetti flyer. The listener says, I saw that awful mailer and couldn't believe it either. Good for you pointing this incredible injustice out. Shame on these people spreading outrageous falsehoods. Damn it all, I'm mad. LTS back at you, Mountaintop. You should be. These people are nuts. Somebody says, say what you want about the Democrat insanity, but I wish Republicans fought half as hard for America like Democrats fight for gun control. I don't know if that's mocking or whatever. Gun control, another Democrat scam. By the way, it is led by people that want us to be disarmed. So we're more compliant. Everything they believe in is, and say they believe in, let me be more accurate, is a lie. Somebody text this in because we've been watching these Europeans having the time of their life. Bob LTS, Isn't it the liberals who always tell us the Europeans and the immigrants are so smart and so cultured? Well, the World Cup has shown us that all the Europeans are falling in love with America. They can't believe the freedom, the food. They're all saying it. It's the greatest place on earth. And how lucky they are to be here. Crickets from the Democrat Party. This is the greatest place in the world to live. Oh, only 29% of the sickos, well, 29% normal in the sicko party think America's a great place to be. It's insane. Bob LTS, as I sit here and work on my house that I worked up my butt off to buy and will be renting it out to the end of summer, I can't help but be appreciative. I was born in this great country and have this opportunity. I'm not a trillionaire. In fact, I've had a rather difficult path, yet here I am. That's America. We may not all have the same path, but we all have the same opportunity, regardless of color, race, or creed. Electrician, that is so well said. We got to go to break on that amazing point. Thank you, electrician. And by the way, congratulations for everything you've accomplished. We'll be back. Our veterans this hour, brought to you as always, proudly, by our man John Basiliga. Basiliga Hospitality Group. Amazing set of facilities, restaurants, bars, all that. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern on the Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. The best in fine dining anywhere. A Terra 519 downtown Scranton with all kinds of affordable options. The Stegmeyer Mansion downtown Wilkes-Barre, the same. You will love the experience. John Mineta, they called him Shotgun. He was 71, a Navy veteran, award-winning trap shooter. How cool. Born in Berwick, John lived a life as rich and spirited as the great outdoors he so dearly loved. Whether he was waiting patiently in a tree stand for the perfect shot or casting a line at the crack of dawn, the great outdoors was his sanctuary. John was an avid trap shooter for more than 50 years. His skill allowed him to capture 115 major trap shooting trophies. He was PSSA state trap shooting team 12 times in his career. His career in that great field culminated in his induction in the Pennsylvania Trap Shooting Hall of Fame in 2022. John Mineta lived his life like he played the tables, always willing to take a chance and forever betting on a long shot. John was a proud veteran, having served his country as a member of the United States Navy, stationed in San Diego. After his military service, he returned to Berwick as owner of Briar Creek Truck Stop. John was a lovable character who will be greatly missed by everyone who knew him. Those left to cherish his memory include Nancy, the love of his life and wife of 53 years. His son, John Paul, in Berwick, his daughter, Lisa Schmidt, in Colorado, a beloved grandson, Rocco, his 3 sisters, many nieces and nephews. John Mineta, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain Resort, who tell you it's time to start enjoying summer. Get up to the water park. Today, blend of sun and clouds. A thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. Well, we're talking about many, many thousands of square miles, so that means you're pretty safe probably. Gusty winds can accompany any downpour, high 80. Tonight, cloudy, showers around late, 65. Tomorrow, variable clouds with thunderstorm, very warm, breezy in the afternoon. Storms can bring flooding downpours and localized damaging wind gusts. High 86, low 58. Friday, intervals of clouds and sun with a passing shower in the afternoon. High 78, low 57. Gorgeous day. Gorgeous day to be at the water park. Same with Saturday. Breezy and pleasant. Sunshine, just a few clouds. High 78, low 53. Sunday, sun giving way to clouds. High 77, low 57. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain and the Montage Mountain Water Park. And that great resort right there at the top of the hill, 75 degrees right now. The Cars. Murph tells us this date, 1978. They were from Boston, Mass. They debuted with their first single, Just What I Needed. Did I tell you it was 1978? I hope so. Biden banner disgrace, day 185. An organization innocently called the Greenridge Neighborhood Association, really, apparently, just a front for political lunacy, put up a Biden hometown hero banner some 185 day plus ago. They found out, no, these hometown hero banners are reserved for our veterans. Joe Biden never served. In fact, he dodged service on many occasions. They voted 10-5 to keep it up anyway. God bless the 5 who had some sense, and disgrace the ones who voted to keep it up. And it's still up, disgracing the Greenridge neighborhood, disgracing and debasing our military who actually served. And the Greenridge Neighborhood Association itself is a disgrace. Biden banner disgrace, day 185. Stolen valor. One of our listeners texts in, Bob, I've given up on all major sports leagues. I don't watch anything big Hollywood puts out, and I stopped listening to 99.5% of modern music. I'm a proud veteran, but a disappointed one in what half of our wonderful country has become. Lunacy 100%. You're right. And the saddest part, it's more. It's 70% plus of the Democrat Party has become a sickening disgrace. They're not proud to be Americans. They wouldn't even consider putting out a flag on the 4th of July. Think of this. Think of who they are. By the way, it just shows you I'm not wrong when I'm talking about them. I'm not wrong when I'm talking about mental illness. And frankly, this goes beyond Trump derangement syndrome. It really does. It's insane. It's pure insanity. Steve from Trucksville says, why would the Democrats ever stop lying? There's never any consequences for it. You're right. Somebody else, I just had to take the test for my CDL. I passed, but it was hard, isn't it? I agree. I did it in prison. And now I have to go get fingerprinted. I've already had my CDL for 30 years. They're checking on me. Meanwhile, people who can't speak English and can't read English are running into bridges in Scranton. 3 of them. So he says, Bob, let's not forget that President G.W. Bush wanted to allow Mexican truck drivers to be able to travel to all lower 48 states. They could only come in to drop trailers at border areas in the past. George Bush was not a good president. I like him, but he wasn't a good president. There's another knucklehead move. Somebody says, hey, Bob, I work with 2 people that have TDS, and it's tough. They claim I drink the Kool-Aid. The media is destroying our nation. Yeah, they actually, if you ask them, by the way, they will get angry and they'll walk away. They will not answer actual questions. Ask them what's good about the open border. Ask them what's good about not grabbing illegal aliens, especially illegal alien criminals. Ask them about it. Ask them about no bail for criminals. Ask them for light sentencing. Ask them about transgender insanity, destroying young kids' lives. Ask them about that. And look what we have here in Luzerne County. I meant to mention it. Luzerne County Republican Party, this idiotic legislation of the council, 7-4. This anti-discrimination for employment, housing, education, healthcare, and public accommodations. They don't have any authority in any of those areas. None. The Luzerne County Council. See, you let outside money elect Democrats to the majority of the Luzerne County Council, and now it is gone. It's gone rogue. It's gone woke. It's gone insane. Because that's what the Democrat Party is. And by the way, that's who they got their money from. Special interest left-wing lunatic groups from Washington. And that's who's running Paige Cognetti's campaign for Congress. By the way, the brainchilds of the campaign who are sending these packs of lies to voters, Mamdani's campaign team, the same company. Oh, yeah, but she's not a left-wing lunatic. She just agrees with sicko Mamdani on policy. Wow. I got stunning. Hey, quickly, let's go to Gary from Mill City. Hey, Gary.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for taking my call. You were talking about the flag. We fly a flag at our business in my house 24/7.
Nice.
Very proud of it. One of my few regrets in life is that I never served in the military.
Mine too.
One regret. Second, with the Iran thing, being that this has gone on for 47 years and President Trump took it on in a midterm election year, put politics aside, has done what our last 5 presidents could have, should have, talked about doing, never did anything. I think I won't listen to the pundits, the rhinos, the Democrats. I think I'll trust President Trump on it. The same people that complain about gas prices, their remedy was to go in and blow all of Iran up and take that oil off the market for 10, 15 years while they rebuild their infrastructure. I mean, just asinine what these people's answers to our problems are. We got a man with America First mindset, and we have been so brainwashed over the years, we just can't accept somebody doing something different that is actually for the good of the country.
Well, only 29% of the Democrats love the country. It's crazy.
Shameful.
We've gotten to crazy time, Gary. Thank you, my man. Keep flying that flag. Let's go to Max from Dixon City. Max, we got only a minute, my man. Fire away.
Yeah, I just want to comment about the UFC 250. I know you guys probably talked about it, but great event for America. And then you had these Antifa 21 people try to bomb it with drones, an organized sniper attack. This is what we have to expect from the Communist Party here in America, which is the Democrat Party. And our July 4th celebrations for the 250 is going to be marred by all of these so-called team takeovers, which are just communist rallies. These are communist attacks, terrorist attacks. We're going to be overwhelmed on July 4th with these disgusting humanoids that live in America. We have to do our due diligence to be ready.
I know it. Well,
we don't want to cancel our events, but we've got to be ready.
At least we don't have the Democrats in charge of the Justice Department and the FBI. They've did a lot of damage, but we have a chance to stop all of this. Thank you, Max. My Bloomberg Money Minute coming up because my Ricardo Jewelers watch say it's 11:50. That was so heartbreaking. 2015, 9 people shot to death in the historic Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church, Charleston, South Carolina. Suspect Dylan Roof arrested the following morning, and may he burn in hell. May he burn in hell. Dear gosh. Any event, we're back. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Just want to remind you, our great friends at Roach Supply. They're the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast PA. Celebrating 75 years in business. Visit Roach Supply today. RoachSupply.com. ROCHE. And we're finishing with Ringo Starr. His version of the All-Star Band. This date, 1989. Joe Walsh, Billy Preston, Dr. John, Clarence Clemens, Rick Danko, Levon Helm, and Nils Lofgren. It don't come easy. Great way to end it, ain't it? Or as I prefer to say, Hana. Guys, great to be with you. Thanks to our friend Tina Morocco, your trusted guide for Florida real estate. Check her out at tinamorocco.com. That's MURACCO. And thanks to the Mulberry Bush up in Falls at the Hopkins Farm Greenhouse for providing the honey that got me through the show, or my voice anyway. Great stuff. And great to be with you guys. The Sue Henry Show's next. The Rob O'Donnell Show after that. Just want to remind you, they had a vote in the U.S. Congress. Just had a vote in the U.S. Congress about stopping fraud against social service programs. Absorb this on top of all the other disgraceful facts that only 29% of Democrats are proud of the country. 200 Democrats just voted against stopping fraud in America. This is a sick, diseased political party, and it is hurting our country badly. It truly is. You can't continue with a major political party being this much of a disgrace. You can't. It's not healthy. My word. Cabinet guy says, I haven't spoken to a cousin and his wife, especially her because of her TDS. She's another one that runs away when questioned. Well, there's no defense. There's no sense to their positions. They just talk and think, okay, everybody's going to accept it. These are nutty people. Please don't treat them normally. Treat them with compassion, but they deserve compassion. It's a sad state of affairs. Guys, have a great afternoon. But I got to go. God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow morning. But for now, we must gavel to a close today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. More on the way.